Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Paula Dagnan. Jury selection got underway this morning in Luzerne County Court in the murder-for-hire plot accusations against a drums woman. 64-year-old Agnes Marcicano is on trial for a felony count of solicitation to commit murder. Prosecutors say Marcicano contacted an unidentified informant back in December of 2017 to take out her ex-husband, Dwight Bicking. Acting on the tip, an undercover Hazleton police officer met the woman, who offered her house, jewelry, and cash as payment. She's currently being held in the Luzerne County Correctional Facility. A woman who was wanted in Florida was taken into custody last month in Shenandoah. Shenandoah police were dispatched to the 300 block of West Center Street the night of May 30th for a disturbance called in by Jill Kostowski involving her boyfriend. An investigation revealed Kostowski had a warrant for her arrest from Pinellas County Sheriff's Office in Florida for felony grand theft. Kostowski was charged with being a fugitive from justice and committed to Schuylkill County Prison on $50,000 straight cash bail. She's extradited back to Florida. For the next 9 months, Mahanoy City will investigate whether it'll keep its current government or go to a home rule charter. The newly elected Mahanoy City Government Study Commission held its first meeting Wednesday at Borough Hall as the study process is getting underway. The commission members elected were Francis Burke, Thomas McCabe, Louis Huber, Kayla Henninger, Kenneth Solt Jr., Larry Levy, and Anthony Ashman, who was a write-in candidate. Within 9 months, the commission will report its findings and recommendations in a final report to citizens. If its findings recommend the preparation of a home rule charter to submit to voters, then the commission is permitted an additional 9 months to issue a final report. If it chooses to elect municipal county council districts, it may receive an additional 2 months. Schuylkill County's elderly citizens will have more opportunities to use computers after commissioners approved a state grant Wednesday for the purchase of computers for 5 senior community centers. The just over $102,000 grant from the State Department of Aging to the County Office of Senior Services will allow the county to install computer equipment and wireless access at the centers in Mahanoy City, Pottsville, Schuylkill Haven, Shenandoah, and Tremont. In addition, the grant allows for sound systems, furniture, computer instruction, and advertising to promote programming. The Schuylkill County Public Defender's Office will be able to serve more clients after commissioners approved a supplemental budget appropriation for the group on Wednesday. Under the new appropriation, the office will receive $40,000 more to handle an enlarged caseload. Those clients will come from both Frackville and Mahanoy State Correctional Institutions. However, that money will not come from local taxpayers' pockets. Also approved 3 budget adjustments for 2019, $1,690 for engineering, just over $1,800 for the prison, and $350 for tax assessment. Wilkes-Barre Mayor Tony George says he will hire about 12 new firefighters by the end of this month. Last year, the city lost 18 firefighters to retirement, and despite pleas from the union to boost the ranks, the mayor held off till now. Mayor George budgeted for 72 firefighters this year. According to the mayor, he decided to hire what he considers a reasonable number for now, given that the city would lose about $9,000 in state pension aid for each firefighter hired this year who doesn't work at least 6 months. Union leaders say morale is down. Firefighters are exhausted from working constant overtime to cover shifts, and while they can staff headquarters and the Hollenbach station, they often don't have enough staff to man the High Street station. Firefighter overtime costs skyrocketed from about $48,000 in 2016 to $246,000 last year. Members of the Valmont Park Association received an update on work that's being done to Valmont's Rotary Drive, JC Drive Bridge, and Desson Drive. West Hazelton engineer Dominic Yanuzzi said West Hazelton is preparing an application for a $750,000 multimodal grant from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to make upgrades to Rotary Drive. The funding would be used to fix issues with the roadway that are being caused by pipe erosion beneath the road. If West Hazelton is successful in receiving the grant, construction on the project would begin early next year. Yanuzzi also said the borough received more than $1.2 million in grant funding to rehabilitate the JC Drive Bridge. Summer officially arrives later this week, but the bus to take you to Francis Slocombe for summer activities starts today. LCTA announcing that the Francis Slocombe route number 24 will have 3 runs outbound and 2 inbound weekdays, and 2 each way on Saturdays. You can find out more by visiting lctabus.com or the LCTA Facebook page. And also a reminder, this coming Thursday is Dump the Pump Day. That's a day that you're encouraged to ride the bus, and you can do so free on all fixed routes. Coming up on WYLN News, a flower recall plus state news on e-cigarettes, CPR, men's health, and opioids. But first, let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. Yeah, rain and thunderstorms possible, but that summer solstice is coming on Friday. We'll be right back.
Don't make the big box mistake. Shop local and save at Grand Central in Hazelton. Get better prices than the big box store on our huge selection of furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics at Grand Central in Hazelton and at the Laurel Mall.
Tri-County has been keeping your office up to speed since 1969. Everything your office needs: office supplies, personal and custom business forms, business cards, office furniture, new and used office equipment, copy, print, and scan solutions with wide format capabilities. Leasing is also available, free off-street parking, and free local delivery. Tri-County Business Machines, 117 East Broad Street in Hazelton, 570-459-0754. Family owned and operated since 1969.
Krugel's Georgetown Deli has been voted Northeastern Pennsylvania's best craft beer selection several years running.
Krugel's is your craft beer headquarters, and gift baskets are available for all occasions.
Krugel's is home of the Crowler. Fill your Crowler up in their tap system and keep your favorite beer fresh longer. Krugel's Georgetown Deli, Wilkes-Barre Township, right next to the Big Cow.
Stop in and play Keno or other Pennsylvania lottery games.
Check them out on the web at georgetowndeli.com.
Don't make the big box mistake. Shop local and save at Grand Central in Hazelton. Get better prices than the big box store on our huge selection of furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics at Grand Central in Hazelton and at the Laurel Mall.
Flour is again being recalled because of E. coli fears. This time it's just over 4,500 cases of Pillsbury Best 5-pound bread flour sold by Hometown Food Company and distributed across the East Coast. The flour was manufactured by ADM Milling Company in Buffalo, New York. The product's UPC codes that are being called are on your screen now. Customers who have bought the flour are urged not to consume it and either throw it away or return it to where it was purchased for a refund. That's according to a statement from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. So far, there have been no reports of illnesses related to the use of the flour, according to the FDA. Last week, 14,000 cases of flour made by King Arthur Flour Incorporated were also recalled. The FDA said there's no reports of illnesses related to the use of that flour so far. The State Department of Health has launched a multimedia campaign to prevent young people in the Commonwealth from using electronic cigarettes and other vaping devices. Dr. Rachel Levine says they do hope that parents will take the time to talk to their children about the dangers of e-cigarettes and vaping. Levine is concerned that nicotine from e-cigarettes can harm adolescent brain development. She says more and more young people are becoming addicted to nicotine through e-cigarettes and then going on to smoke regular cigarettes. You can learn more about the campaign on the Pennsylvania Department of Health website. Governor Tom Wolf signed into law Act 7 of 2019, formerly Senate Bill 115, which will require the Pennsylvania Department of Education to create potentially life-saving curriculum for CPR. The governor said he's proud to sign that into law this morning, the life-saving measure. Each additional set of hands trained to do CPR increases the likelihood that a cardiac arrest would be reversed. More than 350,000 cardiac arrests occur outside of the hospital each year. Nearly 45% of those patients who receive CPR survive. Act 7 requires Department of Education to provide a curriculum to schools to teach hands-only CPR. That's a no-breath, compression-only technique recommended by the American Heart Association for sudden cardiac arrests. The curriculum must also include the use of automatic external defibrillators. And all Pennsylvania men are being encouraged to take the proper steps to stay healthy, because it turns out men don't do that as often as they should. The Department of Health stressing the importance of knowing the risk factors of certain diseases that can have life-threatening impacts, such as the leading cause of death in Pennsylvania, cardiovascular disease.
Contribute to someone getting heart disease. Some of them are genetic, but a lot of them have to do with your lifestyle. And by making some lifestyle changes, you can protect yourself and limit your susceptibility to heart disease. Some excellent ways to do that are to exercise, to pay attention to your diet, to not smoke cigarettes and other tobacco products, or if you are smoking, to cut back and potentially quit. And then to monitor your blood pressure and sometimes your blood sugar. And you often do that by going to see your doctor.
The Department of Health also thinks everybody needs a way to cope with the tension, anxiety, and stress life presents to us in our complicated world. Governor Tom Wolf signing the 6th opioid disaster declaration renewal on Friday. WYLN's Julia Wiegand has more on that.
Governor the 6th renewal of his opioid disaster declaration that was put into place January 10th of 2018 as a mechanism for state agencies, third-party organizations, and stakeholders to work collaboratively, loosen regulations that slow down access to treatment, and increase efforts on prevention, treatment, and recovery for thousands of Pennsylvanians suffering from the opioid crisis.
285 tons of prescription drugs from our streets through our take-back boxes. We've connected with more than 5,000 Pennsylvanians and connected them to treatment through a warm handoff program that we didn't have before. We've assisted more than 18,000 individuals to getting treatment through our centers of excellence. We've provided guidance to more than 43,000 individuals through our hotline, the 1-800-GET-HELP-NOW hotline. And we've administered 21,419 life-saving doses of naloxone, and the recovery rate is now over 80%, I believe, or close to 80%, so that we're actually having much more success.
The Insurance Department will issue guidance regarding the issuing and setting of premiums for policies for which health status may be considered.
Our department strongly urges carriers to gather sufficient information to determine in what context an applicant or enrollee obtained these prescriptions. Prior to issuing an underwriting decision or making a rating decision, we encourage carriers to consider the reason for and intended use of an opioid reversal agent prescription.
The Department of Health recently launched the Opioid Data Dashboard 2.0, which is online now.
This updated section of the dashboard includes new metrics focusing on the community impacts of the opioid crisis. Dashboard 2.0 looks at impacts of the opioid crisis on families and children, including infants with neonatal abstinence syndrome, as well as pregnant women with opioid use disorder receiving medication-assisted treatment.
Pennsylvania received approximately $108 million in federal funding to combat the opioid epidemic.
We know that each individual seeking treatment is just that, an individual. They have different situations and circumstances that could hinder their recovery. To truly combat this epidemic, we must build capacity to support individuals facing different challenges and barriers, which is why we believe the projects funded through these grants will provide a great impact in combating the crisis.
Reporting for WYLN News, I'm Julia Wiegand.
Department of Community and Economic Development and Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission announcing the latest recipients of the fiscal year 2018-19 Historic Preservation Tax Credits. State investment by this important program will help create an estimated $113 million in rehabilitation expenditures for projects that preserve historic buildings, revitalize communities, and promote local economic development. The 24 projects that are allocated the $3 million in tax credits will leverage with an estimated $113 million in construction project. There was only one project in our viewing area that received funding. That's in Wilkes-Barre, the Springbrook Water Supply Company. That will rehab a vacant office building in the River Street Historic District for the Mechanical and Electrical Engineering program at King's College. Coming up on Genther's News Choice, honeybees in Community and You. Plus, who will be the guest speaker at the upcoming red carpet breakfast? We'll tell you. Stay with us.
It's Hemi again from All-American Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Tamaqua to let you know we're going topless during the Jeep Celebration event where you get the lowest prices and no sales gimmicks. So head into summer in a new Jeep from All-American Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where there's no bones about getting dealer invoice pricing every day.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Renai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
Hi, I had a very minor fender bender tonight in an unreasonably narrow fast food drive-thru lane. Don't worry, I have everything handled. I already spoke to our Allstate agent, and I know that we have accident forgiveness, which is so smart on your guys' part. Like the fact that they'll
4 weeks without the car.
Okay, yep, good night.
With accident forgiveness, your rates won't go up just because of an accident. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Visit your local Allstate agent, the McNeilis Agency in Hazleton at 1092 North Church Street, or in Hometown in the Hometown Village Square.
Welcome to Community and You, and today it's all about the bees. Yes, Harold Kiner is here, and Harold, it's the season, it's the summer. Why are people so afraid of bees, and in particular, your favorites, the honeybees?
Well, people, they just think they worry about stinging, and that's one of their biggest things is they're worried about being stung. Honeybees are very docile in a sense. They're not aggressive bees. They will sting to defend their hive, and or if you're actually causing a problem for one bee in itself, she'll sting you. I mean, I get stung in the hand sometimes working. I get them stuck between the hive tool. They'll crawl in there, and you'll feel a vibration first, but then she'll sting you if you don't let her go.
And is it the stinger that makes people, because a lot of times we'll hear people go and have an allergic reaction to the bees?
It's the venom that actually causes the reaction. So that you know if it was a honeybee or a yellow jacket or a wasp stinging you, if you look at where you got stung, the honeybee leaves its stinger in you because it has a barbed stinger. And they're, for lack of a better word, they actually die when they do sting because they pull, when that stinger pulls out, it pulls the venom sac out. So if you get stung by a honeybee and you see this little thing in your skin, use your fingernail or something like a credit card and scrape across it and it will pull it out. Don't squeeze it to pull it, because if you do, you're actually going to pump that venom into your body.
And that's what you don't want to do.
Right.
How important are honeybees? Because now there seems to be a push of people saying we have to save them. Pollination is important, but don't other things do that?
Yes, there are many bees that do pollination, but the honeybee, when they go to a crop, I mean, they do the job on that crop. Say, an apple orchard. I mean, they will basically do all the apple blossoms that are in those trees.
Now, you are a beekeeper, and at the apiary you have bees. You also have honey. How long does it take in order to make, let's just say, a quart?
A quart of honey? It takes approximately 1,152 bees, and they fly, well, about 1 million miles, and they visit a couple 100,000 flowers to make 1 quart of honey. Wow. One bee in her lifetime makes 1/12 of a teaspoon, but when you've got 40 to 50,000 workers, you can make that.
Tell us about the queen, because do you ever see the queen?
Oh yes, you can see her, but I mean, when you're checking a hive, you don't always have to go and see the queen. As long as you can see eggs, you know that the queen is there. She was at least there within the last 3 days, because the eggs hatch after 3 days.
So if you haven't had a head count at your apiary anytime soon, give me a guesstimate. About how many honeybees would you say live at your place?
Oh, in the summertime, there's probably 1 million bees there.
1 million bees. Now, the other thing that we hear about are these swarms, and we see the pictures, and they show up, and there's people that are covered, and you know, how does that happen?
Well, the people that are covered, that's just kind of a
publicity stunt.
Right, a grandstand. How they do that is they actually cage a queen from the hive, and they'll put the queen on a necklace or something, and the bees go to that queen. The queen, because she gives off pheromones, and the bees are attracted to that pheromone, and they want to go to the queen. It's just like in a swarm. The queen is going to be in that swarm, and the bees kind of control the swarm, but they also need to smell her.
Just in case we have any viewers who are watching out there and they say, I think I'd like to get involved with bees, how can we find out more about that?
Well, you can find us on Facebook under Kiner's Apiary or Luzerne County Beekeepers Association, and contact me. There's phone number there, email there, and you're welcome to come to our bee meetings, and but I'll answer questions. But if you think you want to get into beekeeping, you need to read some books, do some studying before you do it. You don't just put bees in a box and hope that they survive.
And then have to call Harold and explain what happened. Harold, thank you so much. I'm fascinated. We're going to have you back.
Well, we can always have you there, put you in a suit, and we can open up a hive.
And we hope to see you again soon on Community and You.
Thank you.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care for safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
Not only is Krugel's Georgetown Deli and Beer your craft beer headquarters, they have great food too. Check out Georgetown's Pub Fare menu. G-Town scallops, cheesy crab pretzel, smoked brisket, smoked wings, and more. Or how about their Flight and Bites with your choice of sauces and 5-ounce draft beers. They have a great selection of craft beers on tap, and you can get it to go in a crowler. Stop in and play Keno or other Pennsylvania lottery games. Krugel's Georgetown Deli and Beer in Wilkes-Barre Township, right next to the Big Cow. Check them out on the web at georgetowndeli.com.
Join us this week on Let's Talk Chiropractic. It's National Posture Month, and Dr. John and Dr. Stacy are going to give you really great tips on how to keep your posture the best that it can be this week. Join us.
Next week, Luzerne County Manager David Pedri will address the business community at the Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce Red Carpet Breakfast Program. The breakfast program, sponsored by Hamster Group, and the breakfast will take place at Cinema Draft House, West Hazleton, Wednesday, June 26th. We caught up with the county manager to see what he'll be talking about.
We're going to be talking about just a general Luzerne County overview. We have some really good things we're working on in Luzerne County, and we also want to always talk about the roads. We're talking about a $2 million project that we started in southern Luzerne County on Foothills Drive in Butler, Cunningham, and Sugarloaf, about everybody working together on that project, as well as some other good things we're working on. But I don't want to give out too much. So come to the Red Carpet Breakfast and go from there.
The program begins at 7:45, concludes at 9. A full breakfast will be served for a $20 fee for chamber members and $25 fee for non-chamber members. Chamber members and guests who would like to attend should contact the chamber office by calling 570-455-1509 or online at hazletonchamber.org by Friday, June 21st. The red carpet programs are conducted monthly by the Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce as a way of providing information to the local business community and offering new and expanded business networking opportunities. That's the news. Remember, you can get news updates on our WYLN News Facebook page. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next here on WYLN TV.
Tri-County has been keeping your office up to speed since 1969. Everything your office needs: office supplies, personal and custom business forms, business cards, office furniture, new and used office equipment, copy, print, and scan solutions with wide format capabilities. Leasing is also available.